All right. Welcome back to Best Academy TV. All right. In this video, we're solving more on electrostatic force. That is calculations on electrostatics. All right. So before we solve this question here, let's try to understand the question. Okay. They said 2-point charges Q1. This is the Q1 here. Is given to us as plus 25 microcoulomb. Later we are going to know what micro is. All right, and the coulomb here is the unit of charges or the unit of charge. Okay, now and Q2 is minus 75 microcoulomb. Please take note. Is separated by a distance, and the distance is 3 cm. All right, we are asked to calculate for the magnitude, that is the size, the number, and the direction of the electric force. Okay, and we say that for us to calculate, listen, before we solve the question here, we have to know what point charges is or test charge. Okay, before we solve this question here, but before then, let's just put solution here. There is a difference between point charge and test charge. Okay, whenever you hear point charges or point charge, it means two charges that have opposite sign. That means two attractive charges or an attractive charges. Please take note. So whenever I say 2-point charges, okay, this word some persons don't understand. This word here, point charges, simply means plus Q and minus Q. That means the charge can either be plus or minus. Whenever you hear about point charges, it means the charge can either be plus or minus. Please take note. If it is 2-point charges, that means one is going to be plus while the other one is going to be minus. So whenever you hear about test charge are always positive charges. When you hear about test charge, they are always positive charges. That is plus Q naught, and you always see it as Q naught. Okay, so we have known what point charge or point charges are, and we have known what test charge is. So point charge can either be positive or negative, while test charge are always positive charges. All right, now but our intention here is for us to solve this question. Okay, now we said that for us to calculate the force between two charges, we apply Coulomb's law. For us to solve the force between two charges, we apply Coulomb's law. And class, what is the statement of Coulomb's law? Now Coulomb's law states that Coulomb's law states that F is directly proportional to Q1, Q2 over R square. It's either you call this law Coulomb's law, Coulomb's law, or you call it inverse square law. This is also known as inverse square law. Please take note. It's either you call it Coulomb's law or you call it inverse square law. We have two inverse square law. First is Coulomb's law, it's an inverse square law. Second is gravitational law. Please take note. That is gravitational law here. Inverse square law and gravitational law. Please take note. That is force of gravity. Okay. So one of the inverse square law is Coulomb's law and gravitational law. But at this point here, we are treating one of them, which is Coulomb's law in electricity. Okay? So in mechanics is gravitational law. In electricity, the inverse square law is Coulomb's law. Now, for us to be able to, listen please, for us to be able to solve this particular question, I have to remove the sign of proportionality. And to remove the sign of proportionality here, I have to include equal to and constant. So this is going to be F will be equal to class K Q1 Q2 over what? R square. So this K here has an expression and it has a constant value. The K here has an expression and has a constant value. So the value of K is said to be 9 times 10 raised to the power of 9 Newton meter square as a unit per coulomb square. While the expression of K is said to be 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught. Please take note. Okay. Now this is the expression of K. This is the value of K. Please take note. So class, depending on what you are solving, if you are solving a particular question, you use the values. But if you are trying to modify this particular expression here, this particular law here, this law here, we use what? We use we can modify that replacing the expression of K. Okay, if you want to modify this particular law here, you can do that by replacing the value of this K here. All right. So class, our intention is to solve this. So since we are about solving this here, our intention is to solve this. Our main purpose here in terms of K to take the value of K as 9 times 10 raised to the power of 9. Please take note. So our Q1 is given, our Q2 is given, and our arrow is given. So our K is also given. So now let's try to write down the values. The values here, that is K is equal to class 9 times 10 raised to the power of 9 Newton meter squared per coulomb square. And the Q1 is given to us as 25 microcoulomb here, and this micro here, class, this micro here has a numerical value that is times 10 to the power minus 6. So class, this is going to be equal to class 25 times 10 to the power minus 6 in coulombs. So class, our Q2, the value of Q2 here, Q2 is given to us as minus 75 microcoulomb here is said to be minus 75 times 10 to the power minus 6 in coulombs. All right, class, the next thing given to us here is the distance, and distance r here is said to be 3.0 cm. So converting this guy here from cm to meter, I will divide this by 100. That means this will be equal to 3 divided by 100. By converting this to meter, it's going to be 0.03 meters. Okay, so all the parameters are given to us. The next is to replace the parameters in the given formula. So we have to replace the parameter here in this particular formula here, in this formula here. Okay, in this formula here. All right, so now let's replace the parameters in that formula. I'm going to have this to be class. Okay, let me just clean the board. Okay, replacing the parameters there, that means F is equal to 9 times 10 to the power of 9 times Q1 is given to us as 25 times 10 to the power of minus 6 times Q2 is given to us as minus 75 times 10 to the power of minus 6 over, okay, the arrow is given to us as 0.03 all square. Okay, plus the next I'm going to do here is to multiply the numbers first. Multiply this times this first times this. Okay, before we simplify the terms, that is this and this and this. Okay, now doing that, we are going to have our value to be this. Okay, now let's multiply to have the value. We are going to have this to be equal to 9 times 25 times minus that's 9 times 25 times 75. Okay, class, we are going to have this to be minus 16875. So we have multiplied all the numbers, that is this times this times this, gave us this. So class, let's try to simplify the terms. So this will be, this is 10, this is 10, this is 10, this is 10. You take only one, that is times 10. You add up their power, that is 9 minus 6 will give us 3. And then that is 3. Okay. 9 minus 6 give us 3. That is minus 3. Minus 3. All divide by 0 all square, 0.03 square. 0.03 square is going to give us 9 times 10 to the power of minus 4. Okay, in some calculator you are going to have it to be 0.001234 like this. In some calculators you are going to have it like this. It's the same thing as this here. Okay, it's the same thing as this, so it's not, there's nothing different there. Okay, so now let's try to simplify this furtherly. That is, finally I'm going to have my f to be equal to plus f to be equal to minus, let's get the value of s, that is 16875 divide by 9 is going to be minus 1875 times 4. This will be minus 3 plus 4. That means I'm taking this denominator from, I'm taking this minus 4 from denominator where numerator to be plus 4. So the last answer here is going to be minus 1875 times 10 to the power of 1. Alright, so the answer here is going to be 10 to the power of 1 is 10. So this will be minus 18750 in what? Newtons. Okay, this is the answer here. So our answer here is said to be minus 18750 Newton. So the direction of this force is in negative direction. The direction of this force is in negative direction. Why? Because of this negative sign here. Okay, so this is how we solve our question on electrostatic force. But the next in the next video, we are going to solve more on exam possible questions on electrostatic force. Okay, all you just have to do is to hit the subscriber button and get all the videos as far as electricity is concerned. Okay, thank you.